Hello, hello. Hi there, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Growth Bites. So up to now, we've been getting together every Tuesday for just 30 minutes at about lunchtime in New York or Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific. And what we do is we discuss hot questions for which you might need some coaching regarding your development. Topics include managing your team, managing your environment, which could be your boss, peers, or stakeholders, executive presence, and a lot of other interesting questions. So with that, we will be moving to a bi-weekly frequency. As you know, this is every Tuesday. Now I'm going to move it to every other Tuesday. And I'm choosing to do that because I have so many other irons on the fire that I want to really keep focused on. They're very exciting, and I'll keep you posted as I make progress. But anyway, I just wanted to space this out a little to create some more time to do quality content here and to continue making progress there. So next week's session on October 8th is the last one that we are going to do with this weekly cadence. And after that, we're going to start to see each other here on October 22nd, which is 2 weeks later, then November 5th, and so on and so forth. Okay, so see you next week, and then 2 weeks after that, and then we go. In case you don't know me, I'm Eduardo. I'm a former Fortune 500 CFO turned executive coach. I help leaders like you grow not only in their careers, but in other aspects of their whole self. Everybody is more than just their job, right? So what happens is, job-wise, they stand out from the rest. They're recognized for faster growth, earmarked for more and faster promotions, and they become more complete as persons. So we work on their personal lives, and we watch and see how their careers align with their values and with their long-term goals. Things like happiness, security, and fulfillment. If you're curious or if that sounds like you, let's get in touch. Find me on LinkedIn, send me a mail, leave me a comment. Let's get a brief complimentary chat to see how coaching can help you. I will leave my scheduling link in the comments, and I really look forward to speaking with you. Okay, let's go to our questions, or rather than questions, let's start with the quote of the week, what I already share, or what I always share. And this one is, I think, quite meaningful, which is, you can't reach for anything new if your hands are still full of yesterday's junk. You can't reach for anything new if your hands are full of yesterday's junk. Meaning, we have to let go. Unless you learn how to let go, it will be very difficult for you to go and grab and grasp and acquire new knowledge, new experiences, new perspectives, new ways of looking at things. So let go of the past. The past is the past. Use it as it informs your growth, but don't hang on to things that you should just, move on from. Life moves on. It doesn't stop with you. So treat it like that. It just moves on. Pick what you will be able to use, what you will need to grow, and then move on to the next thing. That's it. Don't hold on to the past. Don't hold on to things that, there's just no use on doing that. So I thought that this was a very meaningful quote, and I wanted to share it with you. Let's go to the first question. I think we're gonna see a few interesting questions here, and we might be able to give some time back. So let's look at the first one. How can I accelerate my career growth in a flat hierarchy? Well, great question, very relevant. More and more, we're seeing that in an effort to control costs, companies are implementing a flatter and flatter hierarchies. So reducing spans of control and making sure that there are less levels from the lowest to the highest in a company. That forces less overhead. That might result in your career taking longer to grow, or in some cases, that might end up in your career not growing. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Remember, when you think about your career growth, just be clear about why you want your career to grow. It's totally fine. Your motivations could include you want more responsibility, broader challenge, more money, more prestige, whatever. It's fine and it's great, and I can help you do that. Now, other people might choose to examine their lives and decide that they don't want to grow. So if that's the case, then it's not a problem if your company suddenly becomes flatter and there's less opportunities to grow, or if that growth takes you longer. So examine what exactly are you looking for out of your career and why that could be an issue or not. Now, if you do want to grow, if you do want to grow fast, then you need to make sure that you understand what is going to drive differentiation in that new environment. The fact that your company is flatter does not mean that there's no growth. It just means that there will be more of a selection process, a more stringent selection process for who to promote. It might take longer for people on average to get promoted, and there will be less opportunities, which is a combination of these other two. So make sure that you are differentiating yourself from others, that you are not doing the same as anybody else, or everybody else rather. You should be doing things that are already at a level above the one you're sitting at right now. If you want to get promoted to, say, senior director, well, if you're a director now, you should already be performing at a senior director type of level, so that people will be convinced that you can take on that new role. My tongue today is totally tight. So that people are convinced that you can take the role at that new level, and further, that you can grow at least one more level to that. So people won't promote you unless there's potential in you. So show you have that potential. That's the best way. The other way, or the other thing to keep in mind, is your communication needs to be open, and your leaders, your hierarchy needs to know that you want to grow. It sounds obvious, but if you don't inform them of what your interests are, of what your ambitions are, they might assume, probably incorrectly, that you are okay with staying at that level or taking longer to be at that level. So let them know that in addition to your excellent performance, you do want to grow faster. You do want to grow despite the reduced number of levels in your new organizational layout, or just in the organization of the company that you're working for. So if you make it transparent, then you increase your chances of being selected for opportunities that may arise. And the third one is, or the third one consideration to keep in mind here is, it might be there's really nothing to do. You just need to know it and assume it. But again, I would advise, even if you want to grow your career, don't make your career all about growth. Don't make your satisfaction be a hostage to your promotions. I help you get promoted. That's what I do, and I do it quite well, and I have a bunch of success stories to share. But if you're caught in a company where things just got flatter and it might take longer to grow, then you should not be defining your success as a function of your promotions. Look at your value. Look at what you achieve. Look at the value you add. Look at your content as a professional and how you're leading your team. And that's what should be giving you the first level of satisfaction. That'll take you to a promotion. Hang on. Okay, so LinkedIn seems to be causing problems. I'm not sure why. My friends at LinkedIn, if you're seeing this, and I will publish this video on LinkedIn, but there seems to be some issue with Ecamm, which I use, where the live stream ends after some time. So it just prematurely, abruptly ends, and there's no apparent reason why this is the case. And so my streams end up being truncated. So right now, as I speak, I have friends that are watching me on Instagram. Hi there. But if you were watching me on LinkedIn, you probably noticed that the stream suddenly dropped, and sorry about that. Like I said, I hope that my friends at LinkedIn are watching this. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Sorry about that, my friends. Okay, so the next question. What are effective ways to gain buy-in from a difficult stakeholder? Well, When when I was a director, the first time I was promoted to being a director, I had a boss that no matter what I brought him, no matter how good it was, no matter how deeply thought through it was, would always say no, would never like it. And over time, that forced me to go even deeper and to make a better case every time I brought him something. So it helped me get better. Some people, I spoke with him later, right? And some years after that, and said, "So what's the deal? Why do you always say no to things?" And he said, "I say no as a default because I know that people can do better, and I know that they can bring me better business cases. They can be clearer, they can be more articulate. So there's always more that I want to push people to do." Might have taken it to an extreme, I don't know. But my point to you is that maybe that difficult or so-called difficult stakeholder is really not all that difficult. Maybe they're helping you stretch and they're just pushing you. So analyze whether this might be the case. If so, rise up to the challenge. Get better, get deeper, go to that person, and this applies in any case, go to the person and say, what are your expectations? This is what I think your expectations are. Is this correct? Try to understand what exactly they're expecting. Now, let's say that they're not doing this in order to stretch you and to help you or force you to grow. It could be that they're just doing this because that's their style. Some people are like that. Some people's styles are like that. Some people are just abrasive. If that's the case, then I'll go back to the same recipe. Talk to them. You won't be well served if you just sit there in anguish and suffer and, spend your energy being angry at the person. Does you no good, does your company no good, and is not going to move anything forward. So set aside some time, go to the person and say, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is the benefit of what I'm trying to achieve. How could I secure your buy-in? What do we need? I would need your support. Make it explicit that you need their support because they probably don't know. And they might be just saying no because they're strapped for time. That could also happen. So communication is the cure for most of our ills in our relationships at work, even with difficult stakeholders. In that conversation, the person might be less or more blunt, I don't know, but they will probably reveal to you whether they just don't want your project to happen because of some reasons, right? That your job is to explore what those reasons are. If they say, well, no, I'm just not going to be on board with your project, inquire. So why? What is missing? How does that collide with other initiatives that we might have going on so that you have more information? And most importantly, do not take it personally. It could be. I'm not saying that it's impossible or out of the realm of, possibility. It could be that the person is just kind of trying to stunt your personal initiatives. But being honest, in more than 35 years of career, I very, very rarely saw this be the case, despite how difficult the stakeholder might have been. There's always some reason, and your job is to understand what that reason is and try to address it and understand what exactly they're expecting, what they're missing, or what their concern might be. It might be that it's just a sequencing issue. They just don't want you to do it right now. But again, communication. That's it. When you go and talk to them, your job too is to make sure that you are articulate, that you are clear, that you don't waste their time with a lengthy explanation of why your project. Don't go and try to sell them on it. Just be very clear. What are you trying to achieve? Why you think that is necessary? What you're trying to do about it, and how their support would be useful towards attaining those objectives. And then follow the conversation. It'll lead you to a place where you will understand why they're being difficult about it. And it might be that they're just pushing you for you to make it better and for you to shine further. It happens. I've seen it. It does work. Some in a painful kind of weird way, it does. But that's how you gain buy-in. Now, I'll finish with this. It could be that you just don't gain the buy-in. Period. Some people just won't want to work with you, but I'm pretty sure there's some reason behind it. So talk to them, try to understand why exactly they're just not willing to come on board with you, and learn from that. And next time you go to them, you know what are the triggers, you know what their expectations are, you know what's important to them. So, as with everything, use this as a learning opportunity. Don't take this as a personal affront, and don't take this as an obstacle that you will never be able to recover from. It happens. It's life. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Move on and learn from the experience. Like our quote of the day said, you cannot go for new things if your hands are full of yesterday's junk. So let go for the new, and keep growing. All right, let's go to the next question. How can I ensure continuous growth in my professional skills? Well, phenomenal question. I love it. So the first thing is, know that you never stop growing. I forget where I saw this, but when you grow, it means that when you're green, right? It means that you still have room to grow. So as long as you're growing, you're living, you're maturing, you're becoming a better version of yourself. When there's no more skills to acquire, I haven't met anybody who's at that point yet, but let's assume if there are no new skills to acquire, then yeah, you're stunting, you're rotting, you are withering. So you always need to be on the lookout for new skills. That's the first thing that you need to do, is be self-aware and know what new skills would be useful. Know what skills of those you have need to be stronger, you need to be better at, and work at those. Ask others. So you should be talking to mentors, you should be talking to champions, you should be talking with your boss frequently and say, what am I doing well? What could I do better? Dig into that, lean into that, and try to suss from that conversation what skills would help you do better at whatever they tell you you could do better at. So the outside in view is what's really important when it comes to skills that you believe you need to acquire, and where you might be a little dumbfounded as to what those could be. It's not because I am one, but get a coach. A coach will always help you understand how to get better. They will use your power, the thing that you already have within you, your skills, your innate ability, and help you position it and utilize it for further growth. So get a coach. A coach will help you do that and help you get the skills. One of the things that I do is help people get promoted. Like I said at the beginning, I help them get earmarked for more and faster promotions. Again, sorry about my purity voice that I have today. So as you think about your promotions and as you think about how you get promoted, the best thing that you can do is invest in yourself. Did you hear what I said? Invest in yourself. So what other skills, courses can you invest in? Can you get in touch and can you partner with somebody who will help you understand what the options are in your particular stage at that particular point in your career? Can you get a coach who will give you a little bit of guidance? That's not an expense, a one-off expense that you are, throwing money at the coach. It's an investment in yourself. Why? Because those skills that you acquire will serve you forever. Nobody will take those away from you. And that'll only allow you to grow faster, better, and over time have a more solid career. So that's the other thing, is how do you grow your skills? Be self-aware, talk to people, and investigate or inquire further as to where you could be doing better and what skills are necessary. And get a coach. Do yourself a favor and work with somebody who will help you understand what the pitfalls might be, what the mistakes that you could make could be, because they might have made them before. And that's what I do. So anyway, that's how you do it. Invest in yourself. And that's the best investment that you can potentially, or actually, that's the best investment that you can possibly make, is investing in yourself. Okay, let's go to the next question. How do I handle constant negativity from one team member? Well, my answer is going to be very simple here. Confront the person and make it clear that this is not a situation that you're going to tolerate very long. That's it. You should have no patience for people that are just casting negativity at everything that you do. They might have some personal things going on in their lives, and that's why you talk to them. And you say what you help them understand what your expectations are, and then listen and hear and see whether you can help them, because that's your job, is helping them. It's just pushing them up, right? If they grow, you grow. But if you have made that effort, and if you're trying to help them grow, and you explain what the objectives are, and still they're being negative, then that requires for, let's say, a stronger intervention, a more direct conversation, where you just say, you better get on with the program, right? I'm going to let you find your own words for that. But don't be too patient with people to whom you have given chances to get better, to improve, and to get on with the program, if they are just all the time being negative, because that's going to destroy or damage the whole environment and the whole atmosphere around your team. And it's just damaging for everybody in the longer run. So talk to the person, understand, and let them know in certain terms that you will not tolerate negativity and or any sabotage that comes from that negativity. That could be passive resistance, or that could be actively trying to just, talk to people about how bad whatever you're trying to do is, or what a waste of time it is, or what a pain in the neck it is, or whatever. Negativity is poison in a team. So address it quickly and address it in a very determined way, in a very assertive fashion, and let everybody know that this is not something that you will accept. That's it. Very short response. If you have a team member constantly, continually is just being negative about things, then just don't take it. Go to them, say why you were taking action, and take action. Give them an ultimatum, or just pull the trigger, or whatever. This, again, based on the premise that you will have spoken with them, and they know that, or that, there's no situation that you can help them with any further. So, hope that was helpful. But it's not a long answer. It's just a very simple thing. Don't tolerate negativity if it's just there always, all the time. All right, let's go to the final question. And I think that I will be able to give you a few minutes back. So I hope you appreciate that. All right, how do I build a long-term career plan? Excellent question. I love this one. So what do you want to attain? Think about you, right? First, don't think about intellectual type of ambitions. So don't think about, why do I want to do, just intellectually, why do I want to do what I think I want to do for the longer term? Think about what you want to achieve longer term in terms of your whole life. What would make you feel complete? What do you need for your life to feel rounded and complete and satisfactory if you put yourself up there in the future looking back? And that'll give you some indication as to what it is you could become. Now, if you want to translate that into career and to getting as far and as high as you can, which is valid, all I'm asking is that you place that in the context of your whole life. But once that's done, then you need to understand, okay, so if that's what you want to do career-wise, get to this level, title, job, geography, however you want to call it, then you need to understand, okay, what are the steps? Are there any requirements to get there? Are there any specific experiences that you need to have? And note that when I say experiences, I'm not saying positions or jobs. Very difficult to plot out your careers in terms of specific jobs and specific parts of your company. Think of experiences. What kind of skills do you need to acquire? Is it leadership skills? Is it salesmanship skills? What is it? What experiences, what jobs, what areas would give you that kind of knowledge, that kind of experience that would add to your backpack? I call it almost like an expedition, right? And when I, work with people, this is an analogy that I use a lot. It's imagine you want to go on some hike. Well, are you going to the beach? Or are you going to the mountains? Or are you going to go through the desert? What? It's important for you to know because your destination is going to determine what you put in your backpack. What you take to go up a mountain is very different from what you would take to walk along the beach, even if it's a long walk. Or if you're going to traverse a desertic landscape, very, very different things that you pack. It's the same with your career. Where you want to go determines the experiences that you will need to acquire, and that'll help you understand what kinds of jobs you should be looking for. Your career plan also needs to be informed by conversations with others. So talk to your supervisor, talk to mentors, talk to other stakeholders above you or diagonal to you, let's say, maybe peers to your boss or peers to your boss's boss. And ask the question, this is what I want to become long term. What do you recommend I learn? What do you recommend I go for in terms of jobs or sequences of positions? All of that information will allow you to craft a gross, let's say, a rough route, a rough map of how to get to where you want to get. Be flexible. So you build a career plan by determining where you want to go, understanding at a high level what types of skills you will need to acquire, what type of job is going to give you the experiences to get those skills, and then you talk to people. Life will be different from what you're visualizing. Just know that. It very, very seldom will go according to your plan. And that's why I would advise you against spending a ton of time on creating a super detailed plan of, I'm going to spend a year and a half in this job, and then I'm going to get transferred to this other country to do this other type of job. Don't do it that way. It's a waste of time. Think of the skills, think of the experiences, talk to your organization, your hierarchy, your boss, and your boss's peers, and make it visible that you're trying to get to that endpoint and that you're interested in jobs that will give you that experience or that set of experiences. When I was CFO, as I was growing, I was always appreciative of people that came with clarity as to what type of skills they wanted to acquire. The clearer you are, the more helpful it's going to be for your supervisor to develop you, to help you grow. It'll help you determine or help them determine what skills to give you and talk with you about how to best go and increase your talent so that you pick those skills up. So important question. And again, you just need to know first sphere. What do you want to do like in life? Where do you want to be? How do you want to be in your future? How does that tie to the job career-wise that you want to acquire, to attain, And then in order to get to that job, to that level, what are the experiences that you need? And then talk to people, talk to mentors, talk to champions, talk to your boss, talk to friends. The more you make it visible and open, the more people can help you. And that'll give you a rough sequence that you can follow. And again, it's not a narrow line that's very precise and cut with a scalpel. It's going to be a broad, kind of fuzzy at the outlines, general direction that you're going to have to follow. Be flexible and be ready to go and roll with the punches. Keep that growth mindset and know that even if you fail, even if you smack your head against some wall, you can just keep going forward, and that'll make you richer and that'll make you stronger. My friends, with this, we're actually at the bottom of the hour, and phenomenal questions, great questions today. Nothing left to say, but remember, we will meet next Tuesday for the last time in this weekly cadence. Then we're going to go to bi-weekly. And I wish you a phenomenal week. Great rest of Tuesday, and I will see you soon. Take care. Success. Bye-bye.